Hey everyone, the Anti-Pundit is back. It's the weekend of January the 23rd, 2015. Well, folks, the first show of the year, and there's only one subject I'm talking about today, and that is the State of the Union. Now, folks, I am not going to break this State of the Union address down piece by piece because it'll be an hour and a half long show. But there's two subjects I do want to talk about. Now, the first part is the part he talks about his jobs. Now, I'll be the first person to admit it looked kind of nice, but I did take the liberty of taking a video directly from the White House. Now, I apologize, they put graphics in this. But instead of me sitting here yapping, I let the president do the talking for himself.
Tonight, after a breakthrough year for America, our economy is growing and creating jobs at the fastest pace since 1999. Our unemployment rate is now lower than it was before the financial crisis. More of our kids are graduating than ever before. More of our people are insured than ever before.
Now, folks, he talks about 11 million jobs in 58 months. So let's talk about that for a few moments. Yeah, 11 million jobs in that time period. Mr. President, keep in mind that when you came in, you had nowhere to go but up. So that's kind of skewed. Yeah, that's the glass half full mentality part is that. And my second question is, what type of jobs are being created? I mean, I haven't really heard any big manufacturing jobs. In all honesty, I think there's a lot of service jobs that are created. And there's a lot of, part-time jobs. As an example, I know people right now that only get part-time jobs. That's the only thing that's out there. Or it's part-time or all the experience minimum wage. So, Mr. President, yeah, you talked a big game there, but there's a lot of way to go with that. Now, something as far as that, I was looking at all the videos as far as the responses to the State of the Union. Yeah, I can talk about what Joni Ernst said, or what happened with Rand Paul, Ted Cruz, people like that. I'm not going to do that today. Now, as I look at my notes, I saw a video from a lady by the name of Kashana Sawant. She's from Seattle's City Council, of all places. Now, I'm not going to play her entire video because it's 11 minutes long, but here's what she said about the president and about that part of the speech itself.
How does Obama plan to overcome the inevitable Republican obstruction? How will he get any serious measure to tax the wealthy or against climate change past the entrenched and undemocratic power of Wall Street and big business? There is no answer to this from Obama.
She kind of came out and laid down the hammer on the president, and I applaud her for that. And, calling somebody out like that, from another quote-unquote politician is always good because it keeps everyone honest. Now, will he watch it? Probably not. Will somebody tell him about it? More than likely. Will he pick up the phone and call her? Of course not. He's too busy talking to plants. Like an example, yesterday he had an interview with 3 YouTube content creators. Now I'm looking at that video because I watched it this morning, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, one of them, as in Hank Green, is part of the MCN PBS Digital, and I haven't really looked up the other 2 yet. I mean, I can go out there and put plants on there all day long. If you want to talk to somebody real online, a content creator, talk to yours truly here, because I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. But that's a different story for a different day. Now, he also during the speech talked about the community college part. You know, I talked about this in my commentary a few weeks ago. Now, as I look at my notes again, it's he says it's going to benefit 9 million people a year. Okay, let's say that number's legit. 9 million people. Now let's be honest. There are people out there right now that have no business going to college. They'd be better served going directly into the working world or what high schools have been doing for years, and that is doing vocation. I mean, that's a lot of numbers, but that's not my real big complaint. My biggest complaint about the entire thing is that he says that the average tuition is $3,800 a year, as I look at my notes again. You know, I know people right now paying $3,800 a semester in state schools. I like to know where in the hell is he getting that number, because that's gonna be, I just don't know where he's getting it from. You can throw stats at me all you want, but I know that number is not, repeat, not legit. You know, I know it's big, it's novel what he wants to do as far as education, but you know, you're going in the state's territories when you go on as far as community colleges. And I said it before, it's going to be real interesting what happens later this year. Hey everybody, it's Lance the Lush. Join me weekly as I review all beverages and spirits. And if this Lush approves, you'll know it. So join me weekly at Lance the Lush. Well, folks, I'm back with the last segment. You know, I've had a lot of false starts here this year, but I think I finally got the sound issues resolved. And that's a good thing because I want to get that part done. Now, like I said, in the coming weeks and months, you see a lot more changes. The quality's better. I got a better camera now. I know you probably noticed that by now. I'm planning on getting a second camera, so I'll be setting up doing interviews hopefully later this year. So stay tuned on what happens here on The Real Deal. Well, folks, that's it for this week. I thank you for watching, and be careful and remember, as always, fear the root.